Your relationship with your fellow brother, fellow believer, has a great bearing on your relationship with Yeshua. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 4, a Torah portion Tzav. And this Torah portion basically deals with the 5 principal offerings that are to be presented on the altar of sacrifice. The Olah, which we've gone into great detail, the Mincha, which is a grain offering and basically refers to either a giving of thanks or an acknowledgement that Yah is the sustenance, the sustaining of our lives. We go then to the Shelamin, or the peace offering, which is an offering of thanksgiving and worship for the works that the Father has done in our lives. A portion goes to the Father as the fat is burned up. A portion goes to the priest who puts the offering on the altar, and then the one who brings the offering takes a portion home to celebrate with his family and friends. The katat is the sin offering. And then we come to chapter number 5, our focus for today, the asham, or trespass offering. This offering primarily deals with an incident or an ongoing issue of relationship between believers, between members, fellow members of Am Israel. It also deals with some violations or transgressions of Torah principles or statutes, an uncleanness issue. This has a lot to say to us in our current time of the body of Messiah, especially to be found in the Hebraic Roots movement. I have personally, along with my family, been a part of this since about the year 2000. In those 20 years, I have seen great upheaval. I have seen people get upset over what would seem to be trivial, minor, of no consequence, walk out of a congregation, never to be seen or heard from since. I've had brothers to apologize, seek to work it out, only to have the same issue rile up all over again, and now still there's estrangement. We have seen congregations fall apart. We have seen movements fall apart. The issues are varied. Anything from a calendar issue to when is Shabbat? Is it lunar or is it every 7th day? Is this the way to pronounce the name or that the way to pronounce the name? On and on the list goes. And most often the issues that divide us are not issues that can be resolved without question, beyond question, here at the present time. When Mashiach Yeshua returns, I am sure that he will straighten us all out, set the issues correctly, and we will all hang our heads at the needless loss of brothers and sisters over things that we realize they don't matter so much. The thing that is most definite in all of this is brokenheartedness. We have grieved, walked with tears in our eyes with broken hearts over needless separations about things that are minor that have been blown up to something that is major. The Asham offering deals with this. And there are issues about the Asham offering that I want to explore with you to help us to understand exactly what it is that we're dealing with. But before I go there, let's go back to the book of Bereshit, chapter number 45, Genesis 45. And when Joseph's brothers are leaving him after having been reconciled with them, his last instructions to them before they go to tell their father Yaakov the great news that Joseph is alive and governor of all Mitzrayim, or Egypt. Joseph says to his brothers in verse 24, "Do not quarrel along the way." If you and I could hear that, somehow understand that in its fullness, if we could come to grips with that command, do not quarrel along the way. There's one thing about debating, investigating together, searching the scriptures together, even if you come up with varied opinions or a difference of opinion. But you can understand, I see how you see it your way. Can you see it how I see things my way, this way? When things stop being your way, my way, but rather we just understand this is the way it is. Now, let's go have lunch. Change the subject. Rejoice and celebrate about the things that we agree on. If we could ever get to that place where we did not quarrel along the way, I believe that there would be an awesome release of power and provision, the presence of the Most High to this body. But until then, until we can come to such a place, we may severely lack these commodities of the Ruach. So the word says that the fat is to be offered up. The fat is the layer that covers muscle tissue. Most of us are pretty much aware of how much fat is covering our muscle tissue. What it does is it hides one's true strength. If you could kind of punch beyond the fatty layer, underneath may be a firm muscle. It's in there somewhere. It's just well insulated. It's well covered over. And fat weighs us down. It limits our abilities. It gets in the way of our athletic abilities. It causes you and I to have a different appearance than what might be necessary. Something else that's very interesting is that fat has no nerve endings that I am aware of. And so fat is that part of us that is relationally unfeeling. It not only limits our body's abilities, it not only disguises the body to appear different than what it really should be, it not only weighs the body of Messiah down, but it's that part of us that has no feeling. It also is the part of the body that stores toxins. That part of us that we can't let go of past issues, that poisoning part of us. I know that's not physically possible, but fat sharpens our tongue in a manner of speaking. That is that the poison that is contained in the fat layers, the toxins, evidently in the spirit, it affects our brains and our hearts and causes us to use sharp and critical words. It also is then representing the callous part of us, that part of us that refuses to feel. So we need to get rid of the fat. Then there is the laying on of the kidneys, haklayot. They are not only organs that filter for us, but in Hebraic thought, they are considered the inmost mind, the reins, the seat of affections, and our yearnings, our deep desires. Then there is laid on the appendage, what is called the caul of the liver. It refers to the greater lobe of the liver. The word for liver in Hebrew, kavad, just so happens to be spelled in the same way as kovod, both suggesting the idea of heaviness or weightiness. The word for the caul is yotoret, and suggests that which is redundant and hanging over. So in the offering of the asham, we give over to Yahweh our toxic and insensitive traits that prevent us from relating properly with our brother, that harm and even destroy relationships unnecessarily. We yield to him our own personal deep desires and yearnings that can be interruptive and separative between ourselves and our brothers. In other words, I want it my way, and until you see it my way, we can't relate together. We give that over to him. We also give him those things that we struggle with over and over again that are redundant in us. The redundant battles that we fight but never seem to properly win. That causes conflict. In other words, our issues, our stuff. Let's lay us all on the altar. Let's learn to love one another. Let's learn to get along. Until tomorrow, shalom.